Hey everybody! How do we say hi to everybody?
We should probably just say hi everybody.
Hi everybody!
Hi everybody.
This is our intro.
This is the intro to the podcast.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
It's gonna get... This is the podcast. Here's the thing. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Jake.
And this is Here's the Thing, where there's gonna be a lot less coughing fits and a lot more talking about...
Yeah, give me 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Talking about... garbage.
Yeah, lots to talk about.
There is actually a lot to talk about. We talk about important stuff, not important stuff, stuff you guys will learn about. I don't know. Just a lot of bullshit.
Stuff that we find entertaining, that we enjoy. That's really it.
Yeah, it's a lot of media stuff.
Mostly
Jake and I are both media majors. We graduated the same year, 2020, and right as COVID hit.
Did you get a graduation ceremony?
No, I didn't. Did you get a graduation ceremony?
No,
No,
but I was told not to complain about it.
Well, here's the thing, is that I got sent my graduation ceremony over the internet.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and they forgot like half the people's names.
Yeah, mine was posted on YouTube.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
No,
Man, it's just like
I don't
being
know.
there.
I didn't watch it.
It's just like being there, honestly. But yeah, we're both media studies majors. We basically graduated just as COVID hit and Hollywood shut down, so
Yeah.
we have no options.
I'm still sort of mad about that, and I talk about it in therapy sometimes because I love my therapist. But yeah, I'm supposed to be living in Hollywood right now.
Yeah, you're supposed to be in LA. I'm supposed to be being a sound guy for SNL, which is what I was hoping to do. And now we are doing a podcast in a dinky basement.
Such a lovely basement.
Just a lovely basement.
The wood floor is actually foam.
Yeah, it psychs you out because you walk down the stairs, you're like, oh, what a lovely wood floor.
You really do. It's like, wow, this is a nice basement. And then you take one step and it's like, it's plush?
It's
This
fabric.
is plush?
And then you take another step and you're like, oh, it's uneven. Everything underneath is uneven.
But yeah, graduated with that. Naturally, after graduating in media studies, I got a job in a kitchen.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I was landscaping, but I also got a job in a kitchen.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a good kitchen.
Yeah.
And then I left that job, and now I'm still working in a kitchen.
Yeah, I left that job and I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Because I was like, hey, I want to follow my dreams. And now I am, and very quickly running out of money because it's the Christmas season.
Yeah, but to your credit.
Yeah.
And I gotta give you credit. Because I graduated college and was like, I'm gonna follow my dreams. And this is it. This is the most I've done. And I didn't even do this. Like, you set it up. You got the audio stuff. It's all hooked up. We're in your basement room. Like, this is your room in the house. It's like, this is Kyle's basement. And it's like, Jake's here too. He had a room.
It got taken over. We'll talk about that some other time.
In a minute. But, like, you actually were like, I'm going to do it. I'm doing it. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. But then I didn't quit my job because I'm broke.
Yeah, I saved my money.
I'm so bad at saving money.
I saved a lot of my money, which is why I can quit my job for at least a month or two and just focus in on this. Because this is also something I've wanted to do for a long time. But everybody I tried to start it with would get all like high and mighty and be like, oh, this is about me. I can do this without you. And then they'd leave and they'd never do anything. And I'd be sad. But now I'm with Jake, who I'm looking forward to his high and mighty stage where he kicks me out of the basement. It's going to be the Jake Show.
It'll never happen. It'll never happen. I'll never kick you out of the basement. I'll leave you for my media conglomerate building.
Exactly, yeah. Jake will leave and become a millionaire, and I'll still be in the basement in 3 years.
Billionaire with a B.
Billionaire with a B. Sorry. I'll be serving you salads, Mr. Billionaire with a B.
But yeah, I mean, that's not a full intro to who we are, but that's basically how we're here right now.
Yeah, so we've basically just come up with the idea of let's throw everything we can at a wall. Podcast, gaming channel, writing scripts, everything.
We're gonna write scripts.
I'm gonna write some short scripts.
I hate writing scripts.
You don't have to write scripts.
I can't.
See, Jake's good with like the visuals of cinematography, setting shit up. He's good at directing.
I'm looking for good shit.
Yeah, I'm good at writing. I'm better at writing. And setting up like production stuff, like being the producer, which is why we have like this big ass schedule on our whiteboard over here, where we're doing podcasting, streaming. Jake's doing some film essays.
Yep, I gotta make those.
I'm doing some video game critiques, just like every other billions of people on this planet do.
We really have a lot planned.
We do have a lot planned.
That's awesome.
Do you see how it says first upload? 12
Yeah,
minute latest?
I noticed that. I noticed that while I was writing what we were going to talk about today.
Yeah, I wrote December 1st is the latest. First upload is December 10th. Nope, it's December 12th. and we're recording the first podcast, and we're gonna finally go on and do video game stuff, gaming stuff.
Yeah.
After this,
After this, we're literally just gonna have like a recording binge.
Because it's my laptop is what we're recording on for audio and video, and its CPU is just high enough that we can do it. But if any other program is running, it will shit the bed.
That's not good.
No, it's not. But I've found the balance.
Good. I'm proud of you.
And now we're here. And here's the thing.
And here's the thing. There's so much to talk about. First thing is Disney made an announcement, and you'd have to be living under a rock at this point if you hadn't heard that they announced stuff.
And if you live in our apartment, you've heard it 6 times.
I'm so excited.
It's
so exciting.
such a long list.
It makes me excited because at this point most people have heard that Disney has announced, Star Wars or Marvel this or Star Wars that or something. They've heard basically this was announced, and most people's reaction, they're like, "Oh wow, that's cool."
Yeah, a lot of people have heard like what they're interested in because on your Instagram feed and everything, you're like, "Oh,
yeah,
these things I'm interested in," but you're only getting the fragments of what they've announced.
And then there was me. I heard I was following a person on Twitter who I follow them for my movie news. There's some film Twitter page. I don't know their name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But they're pretty good about like announcing movie news as it's happening. Like they announced that Rob's new movie wrapped filming.
Yeah. Wait, Rob who?
My cousin.
Oh.
His new movie just wrapped filming.
I'm excited. For those who don't know who Rob is.
Rob's my cousin. He makes movies. You like his movies.
He made The Lighthouse, right?
He did. He did make The Lighthouse. He made The Lighthouse and The Witch, and he has a new movie coming out that I don't know how much I can say about it. But they announced that it finished filming. They were like, it wrapped. And I was like, oh my God, it wrapped filming. That's awesome. And I texted my aunt and I was like, hey, tell Rob, congrats on wrapping from Jake. Good job. I'm excited about the movie. And she went, we didn't know it wrapped filming? And so she texted him and was like, hey, Jake said congrats on finishing. Good job. You wrapped filming. That's awesome. And he was like, what? Like, he knew, like, the announcement had been made. The production company said something, but it traveled that fast. Like, I heard about it before he had heard that it had been said. Like, before he heard from his agent or whatever, yeah, we made the announcement. The producers are really happy. We wrapped filming. People are reacting online. Whatever. Before whatever announcement that was, I heard about it from a Twitter page, texted my aunt, who texted him, and he was just like, oh, they announced it.
You've got your ears so close to the ground that the second he went, all right, that's a wrap on the last scene he shot, you just shot him a text and were like, congratulations.
I had like my ear to the ground hearing it through the planet, and it was just like, it's done. Good job. But no, so that Twitter page that announced that was announcing as it happened all the things Disney announced at this like investor summit or something. Like it wasn't an expo. It wasn't their like D23. It was some investor thing.
Yeah, they probably had like a panel of investors.
Yeah, and they were announcing everything they had down the pipeline.
For the next 5 years.
Yes. Which is the other amazing thing. This is all within 5 years. Which is super impressive.
And exciting.
And so exciting.
So, Jake, what's the first thing on the list?
An Alien series. Which is Alien from like Xenomorphs, Aliens, Alien 3, those movies. Ridley Scott is helping create a TV series on Hulu and FX in the Alien universe. And it's taking place on Earth. And I'm super excited about that.
That's interesting, because aren't a lot of the... Now, I haven't watched a lot of the Alien movies intently, which needs to change. Which Jake is showing me all the movies I've never seen.
It's a long list.
It's a long list of movies. I'm ashamed
so many movies.
to be a media studies graduate and not know so many movies.
I think the worst part about the amount of movies you haven't seen is that in my head they're all common movies that people have seen.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh yeah, that's from this movie. And you'll just be like, I've never seen that movie. And it's like, bro, you've never seen Alien?
I've seen Alien, but I've never intently been like, this is Alien. I like caught it on cable or something.
Oh, it's so good.
But I know that Alien usually happens off of Earth, like off planet.
Yeah, they've never really been on Earth. Like, I think in Prometheus. Not even the Alien movies. Like
Yeah.
it's an Alien movie, but not even in the namesake of like Alien.
It didn't really get recognized.
It's Prometheus. It's really good. I like Prometheus. I'm of an unpopular opinion. I think it's really good. In that movie, I think there's a flashback of a character sending a video message, and they're on Earth.
That's it. That's
And I
like the
think
only
that's
reference of
That's
Earth.
I think the closest the movie franchise as a whole gets to being like, that's Earth. We're on Earth. Like, I don't think there's ever an actual physical character on Earth in a scene where we're also like watching that character on Earth. Like, the story never takes place on Earth.
This is gonna change like a lot of shit
Yeah.
for how they're gonna go about Alien. I'm very interested in
They're
what they're gonna do.
Dope. They're putting the alien on Earth. Like, it's like the Friday the 13th movie where Jason goes to New York City, and it's like, that shouldn't be as entertaining as it is, but it is because
so entertaining.
it's Jason and he's in New York. Like, it's an alien and they're on Earth.
Oh, one thing I do know, I like never meant to watch all of the Friday the 13th movies, but I had a roommate that never stopped watching them so often that I caught every single one at a different time in my life,
Yeah.
and I just have seen them all.
They're so bad.
Yeah, but they're so fun.
They're so fun. They're so fun. But yeah, so the first thing they announced was an Alien series. And they announced other stuff for Hulu and Fox, like, you know, The Handmaid's Tale was renewed. I don't know much else that they announced for Hulu. I don't really like Hulu. But
I love Hulu from a nostalgic standpoint.
yeah, they announced the Hulu lineup, but then the one big thing with that Hulu lineup was that because they partner with FX, they're developing this series for FX. And I think it's so dope. But then, after all the Hulu stuff, they went into the Star Wars stuff?
Which everybody gets hyped for.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Star Wars.
And if they don't, I think we're at a point where people that don't like Star Wars still acknowledge, like, yeah, it's Star Wars.
I think the people that, and I see this everywhere, and I'm not going to take credit for this thought, because this is not an original thought. The people that hate Star Wars the most are Star Wars fans.
Yeah,
They get
like,
so mad.
some people that really love, like, one Star Wars movie will have such a hate for another one that it's sort of like, dude, you don't even, do you, like, fake fan, you don't even like it. But they sort of went off for the Star Wars stuff in terms of series. They announced, let me see, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 8 series for Disney Plus that take place in the Star Wars.
Over the next 5
Yeah.
years.
2 of them are animated, but then the rest are, at least they've said, they haven't shown if any of the others are animated, but 2 are actually advertised as like an animated series. And the rest are live action series. Some of them standalone, others are like in the universe of the movies.
Yeah.
And the rest are like before the movies or most likely before. I don't think they're going to go after.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to follow where the hell would they go after Rey Skywalker? Like it's
But I'm gonna rattle off all the stuff they announced for Star Wars, and then we can talk about whatever we see that we're most excited about.
Yeah.
But it starts with they announced a series on Ahsoka, and then a Rangers of the New Republic Star Wars series, and then a series about Cassian Andor, and then Obi-Wan Kenobi, where they confirmed that Hayden Christensen is going to return as Darth Vader.
Bay.
And then they are also making a Lando Calrissian series and a series called The Bad Batch about some clone troopers from the Clone Wars series. They're getting their own thing.
Yeah, it's basically a follow-up to the Clone Wars whole series.
Yeah, sounds cool. They also are making an anime series called Star Wars Visions, where they're bringing in a bunch of anime directors from like other stuff, and they're directing like episodes of this series.
Yeah.
Sounds cool. Yeah. And then they're also making a show called The Acolyte, and it's about the rise of the dark side.
Is that the last of the...
That's the last Star Wars series thing they announced. They're also making a standalone movie on the Rogue Squadron. Like, it's Star Wars Rogue Squadron. The director today said that it's not going to be based on, like, the video game.
Yeah.
At all. But, like, it's called Star Wars Rogue Squadron. And also Taika Waititi, who made What They Do in the Shadows,
Thor
and
Ragnarok,
and Jojo Rabbit, is making his own standalone Star Wars movie.
Which is...
Yeah.
Oh, I love Taika Waititi.
And that's all the Star Wars stuff.
So what are you most excited about in that list? Because we're not covering all of that.
No, we're not. I can tell you what I'm sort of meh about, because I'm sure I'm going to watch it, but I'm not going to love it, is basically the Ahsoka series
Yeah.
Rangers of the New Republic, the Cassian Andor series, and the Lando Calrissian series. I'm sort of like, cool. I'm sure it'll be good. I'm not worried about it, but I'm not. That's not what I'm riding the hype train for.
Yeah, that kind of feels, as much as I hope that it's done right, it feels a little bit like fan service.
Yeah,
because Ahsoka's like
fan favorite,
super hyped up fan favorite. Same with Lando.
Yeah,
I also hope that Donald Glover comes back as Lando.
I do too. I will say I
Lando.
hope. I mean, they got Ewan McGregor for Obi-Wan.
They can get anybody.
Yeah, so I'm sure that they'll come to a deal with Donald Glover and be like, "Hey, man."
I can just picture like Hayden Christensen, talking to a normal guy, Ewan McGregor talking to a normal guy, approaching Donald Glover is like he's in like a throne.
Yeah, because he's just he has
God.
yet to do something in entertainment that he's not good at. Like, he has music fans, he has acting fans, and he has comedy fans.
Yeah.
He's good at all of it.
Community and his stand-up drew in all of his comedy fans.
Yep.
Childish Gambino, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
And his acting is great.
Yeah. And he's got Atlanta. Like, he's so good.
Oh, yeah.
So walking into a room to pitch him something must be terrifying.
Yeah, just like, hey, your highness, like,
Yeah.
fucking
Because, like,
rated everything.
Ewan McGregor's an actor. I'm sure he has his hand in other cookie jars, but mostly everybody knows him as an actor.
Yeah.
So walking up to an actor and being like, "Hey, man, those movies that made you an international star, remember that? Star Wars, remember those? You were Obi-Wan. We're gonna bring you in because we get it, Ewan. We're gonna bring you in, and we're gonna make a series out of Obi-Wan." I'm sure he was just like, "Yeah, sure, that's awesome."
But yeah, definitely. Well, he's also like from what I've heard, he loves Star Wars.
Yeah,
anyway.
he still goes on talk shows and does lightsaber moves.
Yeah, he loves it. So being asked to be like, "Hey, do you want to be Obi-Wan Kenobi again?" Like, yeah, yes, definitely.
Imagine if he said no.
I actually would be less excited about all of it because that's, I think, what I'm most excited for is, for nostalgia purposes and also because I love Ewan McGregor, is Obi-Wan Kenobi coming back and Hayden Christensen coming back as Anakin. Because even though at the time people were like, ugh, this series sucks, the prequels, suck. I love Anakin.
Do
He's
you?
fun. He's fun. I think
He's fun?
He's a whiny little bitch, which is exactly what Anakin was. He's whiny, he's strong, he's a great general, but he's like, Padme.
Yeah. See, I'm not excited about that. Because that means Obi-Wan and Darth Vader are gonna, hopefully.
Yeah.
Which will be cool. But I don't love Hayden Christensen. I'm excited to see him behind a giant black costume.
Hayden Christensen as an actor?
Yeah.
Hayden Christensen as an actor, no.
Good.
But Hayden Christensen as Anakin is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I like him as Anakin. I think he's a good Anakin.
I will say I can't think of anybody else that could
Anakin.
do Anakin.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If I saw anybody else as Anakin, it'd be weird.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
What about like Timothy Chalamet?
You know what? If he was, that would actually be really cool. If Timothy,
that'd be good.
He would.
He
would be a really good.
I'm glad I just thought of that.
Anakin.
Yeah, I've never been able to think of somebody, but now I think,
Timothy Chalamet.
he would kill it.
Wow. That'd be cool. Like if it was like Darth Vader and the mask broke and you saw like half of
And
Timothy Chalamet's
and you see
face.
friggin' the pretty boy from Call Me by Your Name, just I'm you. It's like, whoa.
Like,
Wow.
I'll kill you.
That'd
Like,
be
you can
amazing.
kill me all day.
I would let him. If he was choking me, I'd be like, yo.
You know what? Well,
You know how many people would be jealous? Like, you show up in heaven or wherever, and it's like, man, how'd you die? And it's like, Timothy Chalamet force choked me from across the room. They'd all be like,
A+.
you win.
Good job.
But I'm excited. I'm sort of excited for Kenobi just to see more cool lightsaber battles between Obi-Wan and anybody.
Yeah.
Love Obi-Wan.
The Acolyte.
The Acolyte I'm most excited about.
Yeah, we were just talking to one of my best friends, Martin, who's a diehard Star Wars fan. I'm sure we'll have him on sometime just to talk about Star Wars when stuff starts coming out, because he's like Rain Man with Star Wars. It's insane. But The Acolyte is the showing of somebody from the dark side's perspective. And
yeah, it's about the series as a whole apparently will tell how the dark side came about and became the dark side, which I just realized is probably going to explore the temple from like the last Star Wars movie.
yeah.
But it's been rumored today, people have sort of put together that the closest we get to a story about the origins of the dark side are Darth Plagueis.
Darth Plagueis the Wise wanted to live forever.
From Phantom Menace, where it's, I think it was Phantom Menace.
No, it was the
Revenge of the Sith.
It was Revenge of the Sith, because that's when he was like trying to tempt Anakin.
Yeah, from the prequels though.
Let's make that clear.
It's from the prequels.
It was the prequels.
For sure. But the closest thing we get to something from the origins of the dark side is the story of Darth Plagueis, who was like, I'm going to use the Force to live forever. And that's really all.
That's all we've heard.
That's the whole thing that has been said.
I'm positive that there's more lore about it. Martin could tell you, but
I'm sure there's books about it.
He trained
actual Star Wars novels.
He trained Sidious, and I only heard about a point where Sidious struck down Plagueis, but I know nothing else about Plagueis.
I haven't heard anything, but I'm not a big Star Wars guy. I like the movies.
Yeah.
I know there are books.
I don't read the books.
I've never read them. I know that the Clone Wars is great.
Mm-hmm.
I watched 2 seasons. The Mandalorian is really cool. I haven't started season 2.
I haven't either. We were just talking about this. I was rewatching some of the first season, and Jake had told me the other day, he's like, the first season, first half, really slow to start. And I'm like, I don't remember it like that. And then I rewatched it, and I went, yeah, it's pretty slow to start.
Yeah, because I'm very outspoken that I think that the Mandalorian is good, not great.
Yeah. As a fan of Star Wars, I think it was like, hell yeah. And I was so Star Wars deprived of something good that I was like really into it at the time. But I watched it today with my girlfriend, with Raquel, and she was just like watching it, just blank faced. And I'm like, oh, it's really slow. And I didn't realize that the first time. Holy crap.
It doesn't move that quick.
Yeah, and I'm like, just wait. And the only thing I think holding her in is baby Yoda or the child.
Which is fine, because it does get better.
It's adorable, and it gets better.
Yeah, Baby Yoda's cute as hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited most about the Acolyte.
Acolyte's going to be awesome.
I'm sure the movies will be good. I'm not excited for those. Like, Patty Jenkins made a good DC superhero movie.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what she can do with Star Wars.
We still need to... Because we need to watch the next Wonder Woman when it comes out, which we'll talk about on here, I'm sure.
I'm getting
yeah.
It's on the list. I'm sure it'll be good.
I hope.
I hope Wonder Woman was good. I'm sure it'll be good. Same with Taika Waititi.
Shout out to Patty Jenkins and Taika Waititi.
Name dropping big names. They'll hear it.
Little podcast, big names.
Yeah. First episode. The Taika Waititi one, I'm sure it'll be good.
He's put out nothing but good. Another person that's put out nothing but good stuff.
He made arguably one of the best Marvel movies.
Ragnarok was the best Marvel movie.
Okay.
I'm going to say that outright. I'll argue that.
I'll argue it. Not right now.
Yeah, we'll do that later. But
I'll argue it. Yeah, that's the Star Wars news. A lot of big shit. And then they announced some live action Disney stuff. They only announced 7 live action things.
Yeah.
They announced more Star Wars stuff than they did their own.
Honestly, I'm happy about that.
Me too. Because I'm excited about one of these things.
Then read them off.
I will. They're making Enchanted 2. They're making Pinocchio, directed by Robert Zemeckis, and Tom Hanks is Geppetto, which they announced. Mm. They're making 3 Men and a Baby reboot. Yeah, you see how it's immediate?
Yeah.
You felt that?
Yeah.
You felt that Enchanted 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Pinocchio with Geppetto. Tom Hanks is Geppetto.
I know it. I'll see anything with Tom Hanks in it.
Cool. Every dad in America is going to see that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to probably make them feel bad about how they fathered, but they're going to see the movie.
So excited about it. So pumped about it.
And then I go, hey, you know what I'm excited about? 3 Men and a Baby.
I don't know if we can be friends.
I don't know who was in the original. Gun to my head. I know a lot about a lot of movies. Gun to my head. Who starred in 3 Men and a Baby? I want to say Tom Selleck.
Did he play the baby?
I have no clue. Because the only things I know Tom Selleck for are, I think, Blue Chips, that TV show about the cops.
Blue Bloods?
Blue Bloods. See?
Blue Chips.
See?
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be Indiana Jones.
And I also know him just because Linda Belcher on Bob's Burgers references
him
a lot.
Yeah. But like, the other part of that is I've never seen Blue Bloods.
It's okay.
I think he was on Hawaii Five-O.
I don't think so. And less good show.
Yeah.
The only good thing about that show in my mind is the drum solo coming in.
See, now I'm looking into it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Magnum P.I. That's who he
Magnum.
was.
Oh,
I was right.
Yeah, that was his most important
I was right.
role.
It was Tom Selleck.
What? And what?
In 3 Men and a Baby. The original.
Who else is in it?
Ted Danson and Steve Guttenberg, who I've never heard of.
I've heard of Steve Guttenberg, but only in like old references.
Yeah. So yeah, but like that movie that I've never seen with Tom Selleck in it.
Yeah.
They rebooted it. They're remaking it. Strap in, folks.
Get
3
ready.
Men and a Baby starring Zac Efron. It's coming out.
Oh, it's Zac Efron too.
Yeah. Hold on.
I
Wait.
didn't know about
There will
that.
be no Zac Efron. Slash.
No. I love Zac Efron, but I was like, in my head, I went, people are gonna definitely see that if it has Zac Efron.
Oh, for sure. I'm gonna see it. Then they announced Swiss Family Robinson reboot. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like we need it.
It doesn't spark joy.
I'd rather have a Robinson Crusoe movie, honestly.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what Robinson Crusoe is?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's the story of the dude that got shipwrecked on an island and then he sails off. It was written by the guy that made Treasure Planet.
Oh, then I would love it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a great story.
To anybody on here that would like to know, sure you don't, I love Treasure Planet, and I'm sure you'll hear about it a lot. But moving on from 3 Men and a Baby and what, Swiss Family Values?
Yeah, Swiss Family Robinson.
Robinson, sorry.
They then announced Hocus Pocus 2, which,
Cool.
people are excited
Yeah.
about. Because there's always been that photoshopped poster and it's like, oh, it's coming out. And everybody on Facebook's like, it's coming out.
Yeah,
I'm
resurfaces
so
every
excited.
once in a while.
It comes up every now and then. It's like, all you have to do is Google it. They've never confirmed it.
Mm-hmm. Until now.
Until now, they finally said Hocus Pocus 2. Cool. And James Mangold is set to direct the 5th Indiana Jones with Harrison Ford coming.
I thought in the last one, he looked old. I'm terrified to see how old he looks in this one.
With the stories of injuries he's gotten just from how he lives his life, I think he might just die on set. Like he'll crack the whip. He'll be like,
it'll backfire.
yeah, or they'll be like, now Harrison, you don't have to crash the truck, and he's gonna be like, I can do it.
I have to trust.
Like he'll be like, hey, back off, Sonny. I'm sure he says Sonny. He's old, but he's like, back off, Sonny. And then he goes and he crashes the truck and it looks great. And then they go over and he's just like
just dead,
slumped,
just
dead.
full slumps. He'll just have one of those Tom Cruise injuries where he breaks his foot, like when Tom Cruise.
Yeah, when he snapped his whole foot.
Yeah, I feel like that would just put him out of commission for the rest of his life.
No, because do you not know what happened when they made Star Wars: The Force Awakens?
I know that he got pinned underneath the Millennium Falcon door.
Yes, but it snapped his leg. Like the hydraulic door shut on his leg.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I just thought it was like, oh no, I'm pinned. I didn't know it was like, oh my god,
No,
Harrison
he's hard to
Ford
kill.
broke his leg.
He's hard to kill. He crashed a plane on a golf course and walked out.
Yeah, man's a beast.
But I'm most excited for that because James Mangold,
What else has he directed?
Logan.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'm super excited. Logan's
Yeah.
one of my favorite movies.
He made Logan. He made Ford v Ferrari.
I still haven't
I
seen that,
don't
but I
feel-
heard it was good.
It's good. I feel I don't need to say any more things on his resume because those are good.
Yeah. I saw Logan, my brother saw Ford v Ferrari, my brother's a mechanic, and he said it was good, so I trust him.
It is. I liked it. And then they were like, okay, here's our animated stuff. And they went off. And I'm very excited for almost everything they announced. Oh, they also announced the cast for Little Mermaid, the live action Little Mermaid. Yeah.
Yeah, the live action remakes of animated, I never go to see any of them because I don't care, it's a cash grab.
The only good one was The Jungle Book.
Directed by
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau. That's what I thought.
But then that gave me hope for The Lion King.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I didn't.
Was it not good?
It wasn't great. I'd rather watch the original Lion King.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
But then I'd rather watch the remake of The Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Because The Jungle Book's really
I
good.
saw the remake of The Jungle. Actually, that is the only one I saw, and it was good.
It's good, yeah.
It made me necessities, maybe dance a little bit.
But yeah, they announced the cast for Little Mermaid. And then they announced all the stuff they have planned for animation. They're making a Diary of a Wimpy Kid animated movie, which makes sense. I feel like they should have done that originally.
A while ago.
Yeah,
they shouldn't have done the live one.
Yeah.
at all.
That should have been the original formula.
Yeah.
But that gives me hope, though, because I feel like Disney is like, hey, we got this.
Yeah, Disney's really going balls to the wall with everything they should have done.
Because they bought Fox, they're making an Ice Age spinoff.
Okay, we'll see how that goes.
It's a series about the the ferret.
Oh,
the hunter.
I forget his name. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
the one
showed
with
up in the
Levi
third
patch.
one.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. They're making a Night at the Museum animated spinoff series.
That's out of nowhere.
It really is.
Yeah, I have no idea where that came from.
I'm okay with it unless they have an episode about Teddy Roosevelt. Then I'm immediately not okay with it.
Yeah, because you don't replace Robin Williams.
Yeah, I'd be sad.
Don't do it.
I'd be mad.
I wonder if they're just having a pitch meeting and Ben Stiller just bursts and he's like, you know what's still relevant? Night at the Museum.
Yeah, Ben Stiller walks in just like, hey, I know that my sense of humor is really off-brand and sort of niche at this point.
And out of date.
Yeah, basically out of date. And I directed movies that people love, but I've never been in the part of it that they love.
Yeah.
And we made a kids series about me, and you know what has remained relevant all these years?
Night at the Museum.
That series.
Yeah.
I think we should make a Night at the Museum series. But then somebody in the room went, yes.
Just outright. Just
like,
yeah, you know
that
what?
got greenlit. The process of that means that there were enough people behind it to be like, hell yeah, people will watch this. Absolutely, people will love it. And I'm excited for it, but not super excited for it because, like, I only really saw the first one.
I saw the second one. It was fine. It was okay.
I think I owned the second one.
It was fun. I remember being like, okay, this is fun. Like, it was a fun time.
But, like, I regularly watched the first one as a kid. I think I watched the second one once. And I saw the third one, but I saw it when Robin Williams died. So I was like, oh, this movie's great. The way they handled it was awesome because the last line that Robin Williams has was just, it was really great.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was really good.
It's a good send-off.
It was good. I've never watched it since.
I have a special connection with Night at the Museum because it holds the only sleepwalking story I've ever had, which is my family and I went to go see Night at the Museum. And that night, I walked into the room as a 7-year-old and went, I thought the coolest thing about Nightmare in the Museum was the dinosaur. It was great. And my mom was like, what are you doing? And I went, anyway, the dinosaur was really cool. You give me gum gum. Like some stupid shit like that.
Oh my God,
and then I walked back to bed. And that was the only time in my life I've ever slept walk. And for some reason, some special reason, Night at the Museum made me sleepwalk.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really weird.
That's so amazing.
So Night at the Museum has my heart and apparently my dreams.
That's so funny. But yeah, I'm sort of excited for that. I hope it's good because I did like the original Night at the Museum. They're making a Lion King prequel. I'm saying this is in their animated lineup because it's fucking animated.
Yeah, I mean, they did a prequel once, which was like 1.5, which was
like,
fun.
This is actually a prequel. I hope it's good.
They tap
Mufasa. That'd be cool. Kid. Maybe it's Mufasa and Scar's relationship.
Yeah,
cool. They tapped Barry Jenkins to direct, which I think is awesome because he's made nothing but good movies. Yeah, like, and if the movie has any love story at all, that'll be the best part of the movie. Hands down.
Yeah, well, I mean,
hands down.
The best part of Lion King was Nala and.
Yeah, but Barry Jenkins didn't make that, Kyle.
Wait, what did he make?
He made Moonlight and If Beale Street Could Talk.
2 movies I still haven't seen.
I can't. You haven't seen Moonlight?
We put up Moonlight and La La Land, and you showed me La La Land.
Our freshman year of college, Moonlight won Best Picture. You just didn't see it?
No, I haven't.
What the fuck?
Because my freshman year, I wasn't a film major yet. I was doing an English major, which was stupid.
That's stupid. You already speak English.
Yeah, I speak English, and I went in there, and I'm like, I like poetry, and they're like, let's talk about 18th century British poetry, and I'm like, I don't like poetry anymore.
See, I went to college and was like, I like movies, and they're like, let's watch movies, and I was like, fuck yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, my sophomore year, I went into a class that was art of film, and I saw Pulp Fiction one time. I know it's really cliche, but I was like, I like this, and I'm going to do this for the rest of my life.
I hate that.
Oh, no, it wasn't Pulp Fiction. It was Reservoir Dogs.
I hate that.
Why? Reservoir Dogs was great.
I just hate that a Tarantino movie, which is the stereotypical, I'm a film guy.
Yeah.
I'm a film guy. I like Tarantino. Cool. Cool. They're good movies. No, they're great movies. I hate that stereotypical brand
That's what brought me in.
is what made you go, hell yeah, film school. Like,
well, I loved watching movies all the time. My roommate at the time was a film major, and he was an acting major, I think.
Yeah.
And he would always watch movies, and like, I would love to just watch movies and only do that, but I mean, the movies I've seen are like okay at best, and then I saw Reservoir Dogs. I'm like, oh, they're good movies because I didn't grow up seeing good movies. I grew up seeing whatever was in the theater, and it was hit or miss all the time.
Which we can talk about how many movies I watched at an age where I shouldn't have, but not right now.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah,
so I'm excited for the Lion King prequel, simply because Barry Jenkins, who I thought people would recognize by his name, but evidently...
I'm stupid.
No.
I talked about this in the car today with Ali. I'm like, I'm naturally stupid.
Evidently, he's not a named director that everybody will recognize. But yeah, the guy that made Moonlight, which won Best Picture, and If Beale Street Could Talk, which is criminally underappreciated as a movie, he's the director of Lion King prequel.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited.
See if it wins an Oscar.
If the Lion King prequel... I'd quit. I would just quit. That's when you wouldn't hear from me, but it wouldn't be like Jake went off to start his own thing. It'd just be like, Jake quit. He's gone.
Jake's done. He's off looking out over a cliff.
He retired. But then they announced they're making a Chip and Dale movie with Andy Samberg, John Mulaney, and Seth Rogen.
Yeah, the Chip and Dale movie part I wasn't excited about, and then I heard the cast, and I'm like, that's exciting. I love that cast.
I'm very excited
That's
about that.
fun.
That's a fun cast.
Yeah.
They announced a Peter Pan and Wendy movie, and they said nothing about it, so I don't know what the story is there. I'm a sucker for Peter Pan, but the only good Peter Pan movies are the one from the 50s and Hook is not a good movie.
Yeah.
So I hope it's good. The story of a kid that can fly, I'm in. Like, I'm easygoing with easy entertainment. Like,
yeah.
All you gotta do is, like, it's a kid that can fly and he fights pirates. Awesome.
Great, okay. That's
no,
fun.
but there's gonna be no. I'm good. You don't need to say anything else. I'm in. That's me with Peter Pan. I love it. They announced a Baymax series from Big Hero 6.
Yeah, I saw that this year was the first time I saw Big Hero 6. I'm like, that was so fun. It wasn't like, oh my god, my mind's blown. I was just like, this is a really fun movie, and I really appreciate the animation. The fact they're doing a second follow-up to Big Hero 6 is fucking awesome.
It's a good Disney movie. They announced a series that takes place in the Zootopia universe. It's going to tell the stories of the people in Zootopia.
I'm excited because Zootopia was a good movie, but it was ruined by the furry community for me. Because I'm on the internet a lot.
Mm-hmm. I get exactly what you're saying.
And it makes me, I'm excited and so scared.
I've clicked on the wrong tabs enough times to know I can't watch Zootopia
You're like, ooh, I want a new phone. And all of a sudden you're like, I didn't want to see Officer Hops
in that
situation.
No, yeah. And they're making a series about that. With those links as stories. No.
They took the fan fiction from Reddit and they're like, you know what? This is good source material.
No, I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because the online community definitely did stuff to that movie that wasn't necessary.
Not fun.
But the movie itself was amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the series will be good.
The animation was really impressive in that movie.
Yeah, the overarching story of like, hey, don't judge people.
Yeah.
Was awesome.
And also, look at those hair follicles. That's really impressive.
Yeah. And then they announced they're making a Tiana series from Princess Tiana from Princess and the Frog.
Oh, that's who that is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because I was like...
Which I'm hyped for because, like, I hope she opened her own cafe in friggin' New Orleans, and I just want to see that food.
What if it's just a kitchen movie?
I'm in.
Yeah, that's your whole life. Yeah.
That's great. I'll watch it. Like, give me a talking frog, a fun firefly, and a beignet.
Because I knew nothing about... I forgot who Tiana was, so for a minute after watching, like, the releases, because they're doing another Moana thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just went, Tiana, Moana.
Well, I remember I announced it. I was, like, reading these to the room as I was getting the notifications, and I said that one, and Allie was like, yay! And everybody else was like,
I don't know what that is. But now that I know.
But Allie's favorite Disney movie is Princess and the Frog.
Oh.
So when I said that, her whole face lit up, and I was like, yeah, she'll like that one. And the rest of the room was like, meh.
I watched that on a whim when I was like really depressed one day, and I was just like in bed on a stint, and I just like put it on, and I'm like, oh, and that made my like fucking next 3 days better. It was a good movie.
They also announced they're making a Moana series.
Yeah.
Which, cool.
I wasn't a huge fan of Moana personally. It's fine.
It's good.
There's a lot of empty space for like
there's coconut pirates that are never explained.
I always get 15 minutes in and I'm like, I'm not interested.
Yeah, no, I liked it. The one part that bugged me was the Coconut Pirates as a whole, because the whole movie's happening and like you suspend disbelief. This girl can control the seas. Cool. She's fighting with a demigod. Awesome. They're going to put the heart of Tafiti in a lava god. Cool. I'm in. Pirate ships sail up. Cool. They got to deal with pirates. There are people in this movie that sail, so there must be pirates. That's how that works. Fucking coconuts with spears. Hop off this boat. And every time I've watched the movie, I'm just sort of like, what? This hasn't been mentioned. I've seen a giant crab try to steal treasure, and he explains why he's doing it in a song where he's like, I'm addicted to treasure. And it's like, okay, cool, there's a monster. It does its things. We said we were going to the monster realm. There's a monster. Nobody in the monster realm goes, hey, when you get out there, there might be some coconuts. Like, no one...
Like anthropomorphic coconuts.
Like,
that's
up until this point in the movie, no one has mentioned or shown that coconuts can do this, or that there's, like, wizards and stuff, or magical things that'll come alive. It's never mentioned. Some coconut pirates show up, attack Moana for, like, a 10-minute sequence, and then they sail off, and for the rest of the movie, it is never talked about.
It's just never explained ever?
And that, yes, no, they never touch on it. And that is probably the only reason that Moana isn't great in my book, is because of that one thing of like, you've explained every part of the story so far. I know exactly why everything else is happening.
What is this?
What is a coconut pirate ship doing?
Why is Wilson attacking us?
Yeah, but then they sail up to it and like Maui's like, let me handle this. And it's like, so this is a thing.
So you know about this.
But it's never explained. And then afterwards, it's never touched on. And it always, every time I've watched that movie, I've been like, why?
And Maui knew about it. So when I meet Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I'm like, I have one question for you only. You have a big career. You have a long line of really good shit you've done. I have one question. What the fuck was with the coconut?
Like, was there a deleted scene that we just never saw, but they never talked about either? Like, it's never come up. But yeah, so they announced that.
That's great. Tiana Moana, hooray.
Yeah, they announced a movie called Encanto that takes place in Colombia. Cool. They literally didn't say anything about it except for that.
Okay.
Yeah, and it sounds cool.
That sounds like a Pokemon region.
Yeah. Cool. They didn't say anything about it.
Cool.
And they announced a thing called Iwaju. I'm sure I'm butchering that.
Isn't it? That's the African.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I'm butchering that simply because there were a lot of accents on the A and the U. So I know I'm not pronouncing it right, but I don't know the language.
Well, we'll check for next time. We'll
Yeah.
correct ourselves next time. We'll make a mark.
I'm sure I'm
correct
butchering
ourselves.
that. But it's from, they made a joint venture with an African-based production company. And the concept art they showed on the poster, it looks really cool.
Yeah, from what I saw, it seems like girl from city, boy from more rural area.
Yeah, but the cityscape they showed was like that part in Black Panther when they fly into Wakanda. And it's like, wow, this looks cool.
Super developed.
It looked like that. It looked really cool, and I'm excited for that simply because I don't know much about it.
Yeah, and it looks interesting.
Yeah, and then they announced the Pixar stuff. They're making an Up spinoff called Doug Days about my dog Doug.
Yeah, whenever you said that and we were reading it off to the people we knew, they all paused for a second like, what?
Yeah.
And it's like, Doug from
But then
Up.
what bothered me was I went to work and I told my buddies at work and they were like, oh my, why? That movie came out so long ago. And it's like, yeah, they waited like 9 years for Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
They're not fast with sequels. Like, Pixar is bad at making sequels on time.
I mean, they can make a sequel like 15 years later and people will be like, hey, look at Incredibles!
Yeah, Incredibles 2 came out. Everybody's like, this is so
It
good.
was a super high-grossing movie.
And it took like 14 years.
I mean, if they came out with a second Treasure Planet now, I'd be like,
I'd be so
I'd
happy.
be so excited.
The rest of this doesn't matter. Because it's not going to be a treasure planet.
It's not Treasure Planet too long. John Silver can't come back. His voice actor's gone.
But yeah, Doug Days.
Doug Days.
Then they announced a Cars sequel series.
The new car that was like...
I'm assuming that's what it'll be about. I don't know if it's a sequel movie series.
Oh.
I don't know if it's a TV series.
Cars is getting a sequel.
Cars, something's happening with Cars, which I don't get why.
It's over.
You have 3
Let them
movies
rest.
that are notoriously okay.
We watched the third one together and it was pretty good.
You know what it says about the third one being the best one, though?
That the other two aren't that great.
Let it go. Like, you know how many trilogies the third movie is arguably the worst one?
Yeah, The Matrix.
It's a thing. Like, it's a joking thing about trilogies that the third one sucks. And Cars 3 is the best one. So it's like, cool, you finally did it, leave it. Stop it.
Let it die.
And they're making a sequel in some way.
If it's with Mater,
dude,
I'm gonna be upset.
I'd be pissed.
I'd be really upset.
I would hate it.
Let him die. Let him rest. Let Larry the Cable Guy just be a guy.
Let him rest.
Let him rest.
Let my man rest. He was carrying entertainment on his shoulders in the late 2000s. He needs a break.
Yeah.
I know this won't make that much sense, but like I think Larry the Cable Guy and Guy Fieri have the same energy.
That makes some sense. Yeah. That makes some sense.
Because they're famous, and their personality is like, hi, I'm blah blah blah.
I'm Larry the Cable Guy.
Like, hi, I'm Guy Fieri, and it's like, cool. But then the level of celebrity that their fan base builds them to, it's like, one's a host of a show on the Food Network, and the other's name is Larry the Cable Guy.
Who did a bunch of stand-up, was in a couple of animated movies. His Mater was in one live-action movie that was bad.
Delta Farce.
He was in Delta Farce?
He was in Delta Farce.
Oh, then he was in two movies.
He was in another live-action movie?
Called Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh, I've only ever seen Delta Farce.
There was like a real movie about him.
Really?
And it was bad.
I'm sure.
We're going to watch it.
We're not.
I'm going to.
You do that. I'll keep watching good movies.
I like watching bad movies so I can be like, now I know.
But yeah, Cars sequel series. What makes me think that it's a movie series is because then Pixar announced they're finally making their first TV series called Win or Lose.
Following up the Cars announcement?
Yeah.
Oh, then that might be the Cars thing.
No, Win or Lose is about the softball team.
Oh.
Yeah, they're making like a standalone TV series called Win or Lose, and it's about a softball team prepping for like the championship game.
And they're taking like a perspective from each player.
Yeah, each episode is going to deal with a different player on the team, which makes me super excited because I love Pixar.
And it's animated, right?
And it's animated.
That just makes me think of like old time like Hey Arnold and like all that stuff, just kids, and I'm like, that makes me excited and super nostalgic. So.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. And they're also making Lightyear.
Oh, with Chris Evans voicing Buzz.
Yeah, and it's a Buzz Lightyear origin movie. Now, I learned this last night.
Yeah.
It's not about the toy. It's about the real world Buzz Lightyear in the universe of Toy Story that the toy is based on.
Oh, so like the TV series they did for Buzz Lightyear, sort of.
No, because that was still about the toy.
No, but it was about him in space fighting Zurg.
Yeah, they're not talking about the toy. They're talking about the person in the universe of Toy Story. So like if Andy's dad was a pilot and he inspired people to make a toy in that universe, and that toy was it's about the real world, quote unquote. Buzz Lightyear. Yeah.
So it's that's gonna be interesting.
I'm super excited for that. Like when I found that out, I was like, "Oh, that actually sounds really cool." So
probably about like some real astronaut doing real shit.
Yeah, doing like Star Command. Like
that's really interesting. Holy crap!
Like I'm just imagining the animated version of the Ryan Gosling movie First Man about Neil Armstrong. But I'm not. You've never seen it.
Nope.
I hate you. It was made by the guy that made Whiplash, man.
I love Whiplash. Seen that.
He made La La Land.
Seen that.
He made 2 movies about jazz and then went Neil Armstrong biopic. What? But it's a good movie. But the Buzz Lightyear concept about a movie about this guy that inspires the toy Buzz Lightyear, it just has me thinking like an animated Neil Armstrong movie. But I'm super excited.
That's what I thought.
Like I'm hype about that
like
anyways.
Buzz Aldrin or something.
Yeah, like I'm hype about that anyways because I'm sure it'll be cool. And then they announced the weirdest thing I've heard.
The Red Panda thing?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what that is.
But like the reason I'm really excited about it, and the reason I say it's the weirdest thing they've ever made, is simply because everything else when they announced it or they showed the trailer, it was like, that makes sense. I'll suspend my disbelief for that. You know.
Yeah.
All these things. It's like that. I can see how the writer's room came up with that.
But a young man or woman?
Young girl. It's called Turning Red. And it's about a young girl. It's a coming-of-age story about, quote, a young girl who turns into a red panda, end quote.
And nothing else. And
that's
just the
all
picture,
they said.
Just the poster. Which the animation looks good.
It does. It looks good. But it was just a girl, and then behind her was like a giant red panda.
And it's like, where is this going?
What? Like, and I trust them to be. I trust it to be good because whenever they do something that's weird,
it's good.
It's usually good. Like
like if you think about like just the explanation of like Kung Fu Panda. Yeah, there's a panda and it does kung fu, and if that was it, you'd be like, "What is this movie?"
Yeah, but shout out DreamWorks.
Yeah,
I'm
just saying like a movie that sounds weird off the cuff.
Yeah, but like with Pixar, it's like, you know, if I had to pitch one of their best movies, which is Inside Out, to people,
yeah,
the way that they explain it, and it's like, okay, this girl's emotions
have personality
in her brain. Go on a journey to find her memories. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, that sounds like a boring movie.
It sounds boring, but it's also like, how?
Yeah.
But not in the way of like, oh, tell me more, but just explain to me what you meant. Like, how? Yeah. But that movie's amazing.
It's a great movie. I watch it and I cry every time.
It's so good. The first time I saw it, I was with my dad and my sister in a movie theater, and it was full. And there weren't 3 seats next to each other. So, like, my dad and my sister sat, like, 4 rows behind me all the way on the other side. And I sat next to a woman and her 2 kids. And by the end of the movie, the mom and I were crying. And the kids were just sort of, like, bored.
You don't get this yet.
Like, they were, like, 3 or 4. It was clearly...
Oh, okay.
Like, one of them, it was, like, their first movie, I guess. Like, it was probably... I'm guessing it was probably, like, their first movie. And mom was like, we got a day. Let's go out.
Yeah, let's go watch this movie. It should be for kids, but no, it's for adults.
And they look over, and me and this woman are, like, leaning on each other, sobbing uncontrollably, just crying. So I'm excited about Turning Red just because whenever they throw an original idea at the wall, it's usually good.
It usually sticks.
And then they announced their Marvel stuff.
Which
is awesome.
Also extremely exciting.
I'm so excited.
I'm not one to be like, man, I love Marvel, but this stuff sounds exciting.
I'm one to say that I love Marvel. I'll bite the bullet.
Just in public, I'm not like super pumped because somebody's going to one-up me with their fandom because I'm not a gigantic fan. I don't know everything about it, and then somebody comes in and they're like, well, good for you.
Actually.
I don't know much about it, but I can tell you a lot about Star Wars and Darth Plagueis and wise.
Like we went down different paths of fandom. Like we went down Star Wars, and you were like, "This is the shit," and I was like, "It's pretty good."
I went down Star Wars and Naruto.
Then I went, wow,
yeah,
and then you'll say that, okay.
Yes.
And then I went down the path of just like Marvel movies, sure,
yeah,
like awesome. But they showed 4 trailers: one for Loki, one for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, one for WandaVision, and one for What If. And they basically were like, yeah, we're doing multiverse now.
All 4 of them? First of all, the multiverse announcement, after the theories because of Doc Ock being cast as the same... What's his name?
Alfred Molina.
Alfred Molina being cast as Doc Ock again, and Jamie Foxx being cast as Electro again, and everybody's like, there's going to be a multiverse. And usually they're like, no, there's not going to be for like a while. Yeah, they just came out the gate and was like, there's going to be a multiverse.
We're doing the multiverse. Like, they flat out were like, WandaVision's going to start it. And it's going to be further explored in Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange 2. Like, instead of saying anything else, they just said that.
I'm extremely excited.
It's so cool.
All 4 of those that you just listed off, all of the trailers, because they released trailers for all 4 of them.
And they look good.
They look amazing.
They look good.
I'm like, I hope What If is good because it's a really cool concept.
Yeah.
But all the other ones, I'm like, sure, are going to be really fun.
What If is the one that I'm most excited for. In the way that I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
All they've said is basically it asks these questions in parallel universes or whatever. Because it looks like it's taking place in the multiverse.
100% is.
But it asks these questions of like, what if Peggy Carter was given the super suit?
Yeah, what if she was Captain Britain or Captain England?
What if T'Challa was abducted and became a Guardian of the Galaxy? Like, it asks these questions about like flipping the narratives and stuff. And it's like, that looks really cool.
And it all looks really interesting because the whole time, like in between cuts, they were showing the Watcher who just watches over the entire universe.
Yeah.
In the multiverse.
Who's only been shown in a post-credit scene of like Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
With Stan Lee.
Yeah.
And that's it. And just seeing that, I'm like, okay, yeah, then it's definitely the multiverse.
Yeah.
100%.
But they showed all those trailers and they all look good. They confirmed Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange 2 are in the multiverse. And then they announced that Tim Roth will return as the Abomination.
I really liked him as the Abomination,
yeah.
The Old Incredible Hulk. So I'm really excited about that.
He's coming back for the She-Hulk series, which they announced like a year or 2 ago. But they also confirmed that Mark Ruffalo will be in it as the Hulk.
Oh, so he is.
So he'll be
I
in
didn't
it.
know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So the She-Hulk series, they're starting to bring in a cast, which is cool. They announced the cast for Shang-Chi. I'm sure we'll get a trailer soon.
Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
What is that one?
It's about... I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But I've been like just waiting for the trailer and stuff to be like, oh, it looks cool. But Shang-Chi is a fictional superhero. Yes. What does he do?
Shang-Chi. Wait, that sounds familiar now.
Oh, he's a master of Kung Fu.
Everybody was... I'm not
He
doing
can create countless duplicates of himself and joins the Avengers.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, so
that sounds like a lot of choreography.
Yeah, he's getting his own movie. They announced the cast, and then they announced a Secret Invasion series and a War Machine series with Samuel L. Jackson returning for Secret Invasion and Don Cheadle returning as War Machine for that series, which is cool. Not much else there.
Secret Invasion is so exciting because I know that comic was super famous. I know that it's about what are they called? I forget what they're called, but those shapeshifting race basically inserting themselves all over the world and just disguising themselves. That's so cool and exciting. Kang the Conqueror was announced, right?
Yes, they announced Kang the Conqueror because he'll be appearing in Ant-Man 3.
The new Thanos, essentially.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's who they're going to do next, for sure. Because he's basically the next Thanos. They announced Guardians of the Galaxy 3. They announced Captain Marvel 2, like some of the cast in it. And they announced Fantastic Four. And they cast Christian Bale in Thor 4.
That's what I'm most excited about because that whole cast in the next Thor is really interesting.
It's awesome.
And Christian Bale is gonna be sick. He's cast the God Killer, right?
Yeah.
I looked up the bio for that guy, like just that character, just the background.
Yeah, how bad is it?
Oh, it's so cool because he was on a world, like he was born in an unnamed world. We don't know the world. That was like relying on the gods to help them, and over time, like as he like grew up and was married and everything, like things kept getting taken from him. Their crops kept dying. And then eventually his wife and sons were taken from him, and at some point he was like, the gods don't give a shit about us. I'm going to kill anybody that says they're a god, or if there are gods, I'm going to kill them. And successfully apparently does it, and earns the name the God Killer, or the God Slayer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and Christian Bale doing that?
That's so cool.
Basically Batman going after the gods?
Yes, you either live a DC villain, you either die a DC villain or live...
You either die a
DC hero or live long enough to see yourself become a Marvel villain.
DC. Yeah, Marvel villain.
Yeah, but that's all they announced. That's it.
Oh, cool.
Not that much.
No.
I have been so happy about all these announcements for the past 2 days. I've been riding the wave.
Everybody's so hyped. We need this right now.
I'm so excited because here's the thing. I feel like the people that aren't excited are lying to themselves. I hate when, some people have been, I've talked to a bunch of my friends about it from Keene, and a lot of them have been like, well, I just think, Disney just owns everything. And yeah, they do.
That's a monopoly. It's terrifying. They're taking over everything. But whatever.
Get past it. Get past it. Just subscribe to Disney Plus. Let The Office go. Let it go.
Everybody, can we just let The Office die?
Get off Netflix. Log out. Okay? Resubscribe when Stranger Things 4 comes out. But let everything go. Subscribe to Disney Plus. Because, yeah, Disney owns everything. And they figured out the formula. And they're good at making their stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm not lying to myself. I'm excited about 99% of that.
Are they and Amazon going to take over the whole world at one point? Probably. But you know what? If the whole world is Disney World, I'm fine with it.
Happiest place on earth.
Yeah, exactly.
If the Earth becomes the happiest place on earth.
Mandatorily happiest place on earth.
You telling me the people that run the happiest place on earth want to tax me? Sure.
Okay.
If the whole world becomes the happiest place on earth, I'm in.
If those churros are on every street block,
dude,
like they are at Disney,
give me a street cart. I want to see a street cart of those churros in downtown Manchester.
That'd be amazing.
I would be so happy. It'd be amazing. I love those churros.
What a dinky little on the big cities like LA and shit. They're really important churro stands, and here there's one in Manchester because we're in friggin' New Hampshire.
Oh, I'd be so happy. But yeah, they announced all that, and they did it all on the night that Kid Cudi and Taylor Swift dropped albums.
Oh my god.
So I was really happy.
Here's the thing. I listened to Taylor Swift's, which is basically just like a continuation of Folklore.
Yeah, it's a sister album. Yes.
And it was good. It was great.
good.
I really enjoyed it. I haven't listened to either of them enough because I listened to part of Kid Cudi's. I listened to 6 songs on Kid Cudi with a gigantic headache. And it was so bad that I was like, I cannot not unbiasedly listen to this and not hate it because I have such a headache right now.
Because his hums are not a headache cure.
No, none at all. And the bass and the auto-tune, I was like, I can't listen to this right now. I haven't had a headache this bad in 2 years, so I stopped listening to it. And I feel bad because you really like it.
I think it's so good. I'm biased with the Taylor Swift album. Love Taylor Swift.
I think it was good.
Nothing she's put out is bad in my opinion. Love it all.
Yeah, like none of the songs were like, oh man, this one's were like really bad.
So I think
they're all good.
I think that album's great. But the Kid Cudi one came out, and I was so hyped because
we've been waiting a long time.
Well, not even that. I like his first 2 albums. His third one's okay. 4th and 5th are trash. And then his album before Kids See Ghosts was like, cool, that was good.
Yeah.
And then Kids See Ghosts was great. So because of Kids See Ghosts, I was like, this is going to be awesome. And then the fact that he was like, oh, and it's Man on the Moon 3, I was like, well, those first 2 albums are amazing. Like, I love Man on the Moon 2. Man on the Moon is great. So, like, for him to be like, it's part of that, just by association alone, I was like, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And then I listened to it, remembered that, like, I didn't like his past 3 solo albums, and got so scared. Because I was like...
Did he change his sound again?
Like, what happened? Nah, he's just good. Like, I think something happened. Either I'm biased now and I'm acknowledging that I love Kid Cudi, or I think he just did really well. He wrote the songs really well. They're all good.
It seemed like from what I heard in the first 6 songs, he's taking, like, the good part of his old style and integrating it into, like, the present style of a lot of artists nowadays.
Yeah.
Because trap went through a phase where, like, there were a lot of bad artists, but there were also a lot of good artists.
Yeah.
Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD. Love Juice WRLD.
And Pop Smoke.
Pop Smoke.
Who Jake loves dearly.
I love Pop Smoke and Juice WRLD on a very real level. They're awesome.
And so I feel like he's integrating his old stuff, like sound. It sounded like one song, I forget which one, but Soundtrack to My Life, and a new song was coming together, and I was like, that sounds good.
Yeah,
I like this.
I think he did. You're right. I think he tapped somewhat into his old sound, but also maintained a newer sound, which is great.
Impressive.
It
was impressive that he didn't lose integrity.
One of the songs has Pop Smoke on it, and when I was at work playing it and I heard Pop Smoke, I was like, "Yo!" And I like looked at my phone. I was like, "He got Pop on his song. This is amazing!" And then I blacked out, and I honestly don't remember the rest of the day. Like, it was great.
I made some wraps and sandwiches.
I worked. I made some sandwiches, but like I didn't hear any complaints. But I don't remember anything. It was awesome. Love Pop Smoke.
What a perfect day.
Great album though. I do genuinely think it's a great album. I've been listening to it all day today. I listened to it last night. I listened to it this morning. I woke up this morning and put it back on. Like,
really?
Oh,
is Man on the Moon 3 becoming your, like, Currents to me is Man on the Moon 3 to you right now? No. It's not. No, because Man on the Moon 2 is that. I love Man on the Moon 2. So you just put it on every day, any day?
Yeah.
Just love it?
Yeah. Yeah, I've never put that out. I've never put Man on the Moon 2 on and skipped a song.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
So Man on the Moon 2 to you is
Currents. Yeah, it's one of those albums that I'll be like, oh, fuck yeah. But Man on the Moon 3 right now is really good. Like, I haven't gotten sick of it, and it's all I've been listening to.
I will. Here's the thing. I am going to listen to that before the next podcast, come in and be like, here's my opinion. I won't get too into it because we're talking about it a lot right now. I'll just be like, agree, disagree, high five. All in all, I'm sure Kid Cudi's fucking sick.
Yeah, he's awesome. Kid Cudi as a person, I love. I think he's great.
And then, besides Cudi, the mention I just want to do is, on the video game side of things, Cyberpunk just came out. If you're listening to this, and you haven't gotten Cyberpunk, and you don't have a next-gen system, don't get Cyberpunk. Don't do it. There's so many bugs on the old systems.
The chances of you being able to have a smooth game
experience and just like
just in general,
enjoy it is
so
low.
slow.
What I'm gonna do is just wait for PS5 and then get Cyberpunk.
Because I'm excited for it. Because nothing I've heard about the game itself, besides that it's buggy, has made me go, "Oh, I wouldn't like that."
No, it seems super exciting.
All of it sounds like something I would enjoy. I'm excited to play it.
Keanu Reeves is in it.
That's all I need.
That's all I need. And it just seems like it was developed, and it seemed like it was delayed specifically to be on the next gen system. So to play it on like the old gens seems kind of like a disservice to the game. I get if that's all you can afford. Awesome.
Yeah,
go for it. I bet it's still a really good game.
It's all I can afford.
But if you can, I'm going to get it on the next gen system when I get one because I think that's the best way to play it. Otherwise, it seems like it's getting like good reviews other than the bugs.
Yeah, the only complaints I've seen are that it's glitchy.
Yeah, like animation wise glitchy.
Which is to be expected.
It's a new game on a next gen console with old gen consoles running.
But also just it sounds shitty. But most new games that are RPGs, even from like big name studios,
are glitchy.
As soon as they come out. Like
they're gonna get patched.
Like, do you remember Assassin's Creed Origins when that came? The one that takes place in
Egypt?
Egypt?
It was
when
almost,
that came out.
It almost tanked because the bugs were so bad.
Yeah, like people were experiencing. They'd be like climbing up a friggin' pyramid, and all of a sudden a boat would come flying out of the desert in the background. It's like, huh. And it was glitchy. And then Odyssey came out, and it was the same thing. It would just be like from the sky. Something would fall through the game, and it's like, huh? That's Ubisoft.
And they patched that eventually. They just took way too long patching all of it, which lost some of its fan base.
I love those games, though.
And
I will say,
the French Revolution one, I forget
which
terrible. Was so bad.
I think it was Rogue.
That's one where a big RPG game had so many bugs, and it didn't get patched fast enough, and it lost all of its fan base. I have hope for Cyberpunk 2077 because they made The Witcher 3.
Oh, I'm sure they'll
The Witcher
fix
3 is awesome.
I'm sure they'll fix it and it'll be awesome.
So
you can customize your genitals.
I can get Penis 2, the sequel.
No, you can.
Yeah.
Like, the character customization is so in-depth. And my buddy has it. My buddy Matt has it. And he told me he was doing that. And it got to that point where you can customize your genitalia.
Yeah.
And he was playing it in his living room with his mom.
That's perfect. That's like that moment where your parents, like, you're playing a video game for a while and it's pretty fine and maybe even wholesome, but it's that one scene that's like gritty or like sexual and your parents come in and you're like, I promise that it's not just this.
But so
please stop.
he tried to be like, no, it has to do with the game. You know, like, I have to do this for the game.
Yeah.
And she was like, what the hell are you playing?
Penis 2, the sequel.
Well, he said, I had one weird glitch where tutorial matches stayed up until he reloaded the game.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That sucks.
But then he was explaining how he played with his mom, and it came on how you can customize the genitalia, and his mom was there, and she didn't leave, and he made it so big that his character moves slower.
Wait, they programmed that in? That's awesome.
He made his characters, in his words, schlong, so big.
His schmeat?
At this point, it sounds like a hose. Like,
he got Randy's balls from South Park when he
literally
gets radiation
and it
on him.
made his character slower in the game. So, like, he could have been a fast-moving robot killer.
Nah, he's got legitimate sandbags between his legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Like, I just love that. So I'm sure it'll be good, because people that put that much attention to stuff, like, how can it be bad?
Yeah. So what are you thinking of doing with Terrence Malick? I know that you want to do a binge series. Or a binge night that we're planning on doing soon.
That was a really great segue from Cyberpunk to Terrence Malick.
Yeah, Cyberpunk to Terrence Malick.
So we're excited about Cyberpunk. So I know you like Terrence Malick.
Why are you turning to Coach Steve?
Don't sue me. No, so I love Terrence Malick. For people that don't know, Terrence Malick is a director of movies. And he makes movies that I think are fucking amazing.
Visual poetry.
I have no movie of his that I don't like. I think all of his movies are amazing. I understand the movies that people don't think are amazing, why they think that. I won't defend them when people get mad about it.
Yeah.
But I think all of his movies are great. He was a director his career started in the 70s, and he took a bit of a break, bounced back up. Now he's been making movies pretty regularly. I wrote a paper on him, not freshman year. I wrote a paper on him for a final senior year of college. And I know a lot about him. And I learned about you. You don't know anything about him.
Nope.
You
Almost
haven't
nothing.
And you haven't seen...
I saw one of his movies with you.
Which one?
Was it the one with like high class shit and it's with Daniel Day-Lewis?
No. That was Paul Thomas. That was Phantom Thread.
That wasn't Phantom Thread. It was the one with the
no, that's Age of Innocence.
Age of Innocence.
That's a Martin Scorsese movie.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was on the Scorsese list.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I've seen none of them. I've seen none of the Terrence Malick movies.
I've seen all of them, and I own all of them. So after learning this from when we moved in months ago, I have been planning out over a 2-day period a Terrence Malick binge.
Which is going to start on Monday and then on Tuesday.
And the only things that need to happen during it are, for his first 3 movies, you got to pay attention.
I will. I almost never pull out my phone.
But then, after the 3rd movie, the rules change. They're so much better after his 3rd movie if you just high. It's great. That's the other part of his movies that I love. Because I'll tell people, his movies, you might not like them. I can't sell them in a way that you might like. If you're high, you'll find something.
See, I thought for a long time that watching movies high would take me out of the movies, but then...
It can make it so much better.
But then I watched Your Name with you, dead-faced, the whole time.
I loved that movie too. But everybody else got really high. And I was just looking around the room and I was like, nobody likes this movie. And it's a weird movie. So I was like, no one's liking this. Oh my God. And then the movie ended and everybody was like, that movie was so good. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, thank God you guys I felt like Sally Field when she won an Oscar. And was like, you like me. You really like me. I was like, thank God.
Yeah, you looked at me and you went, are you enjoying this at one part of the movie? And I was like, yeah, of course. And then at the end of the movie, you looked back at me and I had the same face, but just like a tear rolling down.
Yeah, it was like no one's face reacted to any part of the movie. And I was sitting sober in the corner of the couch, like bawling, like emotionally reacting to every part, just like, oh my God. And everybody else in the room is just like,
I was just slack-jawed for the whole
just
movie.
Just like zeroed in, just like, hey, would you shut up?
I was like, this movie's so good. And I was just slack-jawed the whole time. At the end of it, I'm like, I need to make tea and think about this.
But yeah, so good. Because his first 3 movies have like a structure and a strong narrative, and the story plays out well.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that on the next podcast, and we'll watch all the movies and I'll talk about my reaction to them.
But the reason that after the first 3, the reason I'm like get high is he ventures into visual poetry territory, and some of them the story just flat out doesn't matter. So I'm very excited for next week because like in my head, if I had a film class, this is my film class. Like I'm so hyped.
You're definitely gonna have a film essay on Terrence Malick
for sure.
You should do like some individual Terrence Malick movies, but then do an overall Terrence Malick.
Yeah. I've already got stuff written for that. So like I have one on 4 of his movies, I think, and then one on him as a whole.
So we have covered all the Disney stuff, talked about Cyberpunk, Taylor Swift, Kid Cudi, and
those albums are so good too.
Next week we're going to talk about Terrence Malick. If you've listened this far, Thanks. Holy crap. It's our first podcast. Probably, we're going to look back on it in a while and just be like, that was garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the first one of anything sucks. So I really appreciate you guys listening along. I'm sure we both do.
Next time we'll have an actual intro.
Yeah, next time we'll actually figure out what we're going to say.
How to start it better.
Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time for the Terrence Malick talk.
I'm so hyped.